PrizeLink savings account is not all that complicated of a concept. It's actually a savings account, which the name would imply, that has some sort of incentive attached to it. So that incentive in most cases is cash. And what makes these accounts, I guess, a little unique is that they can't carry any fees that are higher than a standard savings account. And so the idea is to take the impulse that people have to play games of chance and transfer it to the financial services industry in a no-risk situation for the depositor, and then a net win for the depository institution because they have a new customer who may very well turn into a customer in another line of business. PrizeLink savings accounts have been very successful around the world and in the United States. There are 20 states currently that offer PrizeLink savings accounts. When we look at the statistics where they've been offered, states like Michigan have a program called Save to Win, where people have combined, credit unions in particular in this case, have combined their prizes to create larger prizes, and in total, I believe that these accounts have generated savings in the millions. In the last count, I believe we're talking about something like $25-35 million have been contributed to the Michigan Save to Win account from over 10,000 contributors. So they actually are very effective where they're implemented in getting people to save. We know that 60% of those folks actually have no emergency savings whatsoever. So these are people who went from having no savings account, no financial savings at all, to having a savings account. And I'm sure some folks are wondering, well, how much do these folks actually save on average? Whoppingly, the national average for a PrizeLink savings program is $2,400 saved. It's a significant amount of money. So that's why we want to implement this in Texas and why we want to see it implemented in all 50 states. The country's much better off when people have the money to deal with financial emergencies. I was the first person to introduce a PrizeLink savings account bill, to my knowledge, back in 2015. And in 2015, I was actually able to pass the bill, but the governor vetoed it on the grounds that, and this is a wrinkle that you run into in many states that have lotteries, when you're talking about passing a PrizeLink savings account program, the governor believed that under the Texas Constitution, a PrizeLink savings account program could constitute a gambling in the form of a lottery. In 2017, when I went back to the legislature, I filed the bill again, along with a constitutional amendment to amend the Texas Constitution to specifically allow for these accounts. And in 2017, I was actually successful in getting both the legislation passed and signed by the governor and the constitutional amendment before the voters of Texas, which they approved overwhelmingly in November. Credit unions and banks, they are the institutions who by law have the authority to offer these products. And so step one is we have to have institutions that are willing to offer these types of accounts. Again, it can't be an account that charges a higher fee than any other account for the participation. So what we're talking about in most cases is generating a new savings account program. The second thing that banks and credit unions have to do if they really want to maximize the effect, I believe, is to collaborate with other banks and other credit unions. These funds can't come from other depository accounts. You can't use the money that's been deposited to create the prize pool. The money needs to come from the marketing budget that every bank has for regional marketing, local marketing, or whatever. So if you get several banks, say you get every credit union in Texas maybe, to pool together some portion of their marketing budget. Say they all come up with $2,000 from their marketing budget to offer an annual prize to one of their contributors every quarter. That's a significant prize. The role of community-based organizations and nonprofits is going to be huge in this. They can't offer the products, but they certainly have the ability and the relationships in the community to communicate with people who would be the depositors and let them know these programs exist. Community-based organizations are going to have to go out into the communities they already serve with this information about, hey, did you know that for $25 a year, just opening a bank account and making a $25 deposit into it a year, you could be entered into a sweepstakes to win $10,000, $5,000, however much, and you don't lose any of your money. all of that money that you deposit stays in your account, and as it grows, you will earn interest like any other depositor. Even a well-intentioned individual institution with a well-designed price-linked savings account program is not going to be able to reach the kind of people that we need to reach to really make a dent in increasing our savings rate in the state and in the country, or in making a dent in the payday lending industry's predatory practices. So scalability is the key. It's the question. And the way we have to do it, I believe, is through, again, collaboration. I think this save to win concept and price-linked savings accounts generally present probably the single biggest opportunity we've had in Texas in quite some time to make a real impact on the predatory lending industry and to alleviate the problems that the working poor face. I understand that families that don't have any income at all, that aren't making any money, who are unemployed or who are on social services or are dependent in some form or fashion on a fixed income, don't have the money or have much money to save at all. And that is a whole different public policy problem that we have to address. Unemployment, lack of economic opportunity, those things are all important and we're working on those. But this is an issue that is really, really important to the working poor. Price-linked savings accounts that are generating on average $2,400 in savings for the participants would more than cover the average size of the emergency that drives most working class families that go to a payday lender into a cycle of debt that they can never get out of, that ruins their credit and cripples their family. So I'm more than excited. I'm thrilled that we were able to pass this in Texas and that the voters of Texas approved it at the ballot box in the form of a constitutional amendment, and that we actually have a credit union in Dallas, where I'm from, who's already implemented a program, and hopefully soon you'll be hearing all over the state that we have something like a Texas Saves or a Texas Save to Win. We'll come up with some great name for it, program that will rival the program that's being run in Michigan and several other states right now.